Hi, it's me, Casey, your host, and thank you for watching another episode of The Show Must Go On. Today's guests are the And I Thought ladies, Wilnona and Jade. They have their own podcast where they speak to people all over Hollywood and even those in the film industry and television industry across the pond. Let's take a listen. Let's get started. Now, how did you get started with Meet Hollywood Monday? How did that actually, who, what, where, and why, how?
COVID, and Wilnona.
Oh.
Wilnona is the brainchild behind most things that we do.
I came in the business and I wanted to leave. When the first book took off, I decided what I really wanted to do was I would leave when I had a movie. I now have a documentary, so I'm in it.
But we're not leaving. But along the way, we had so many questions, right? Like, what is a casting director? What exactly do they do? What does a director do? What does a producer do?
Which producer do you need to make a real show? Do you actually need a line producer, a content producer, an executive producer, a development coordinator? Do you need all of these things? And so we figured the best way
in the writing room.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And
more importantly than all of this, where's craft services?
More importantly than all of that is craft services. Crafty, y'all. Like, it's still a lifetime goal. We're gonna get there when COVID's over. We know it.
Actually, it's written into contracts now, so I'm excited. I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. I might actually be able to eat some food, y'all. I'm excited.
But yes, we wanted to know all of this.
Yeah, we wanted to know what was going on with behind the scenes of it. And as we always say, it's really cool that the fans of our podcast, right? They go along the journey with us. As we just, what do you do? Can you explain it? Google says you do this, but like, is there more to it?
Yeah. So and then I have to plug myself and my stuff.
Oh.
Because it's me and I am the narcissist of the group.
This is Wilnona, by the way, and I'm Jade, just in case anyone wanted to know.
Oh my goodness, right. I don't even think we said where we could find the book.
And at the end, I thought, lady. So yeah.
Anyway, so plugging myself. I wrote a TV script and then I loved it. Like, I wrote the first one. And I liked it. I did. I was like, I love it. And so I was like, let me pitch it. And then I was like, where do I pitch it? And I found a place to pitch it. And then I was like, that's nice. But then I wrote a second TV script. And then I just I loved it. I loved it. And I was like, oh, I have to find out how to make this happen. So Meet Hollywood Mondays came about. So we interview a bunch of people, mostly to know things. So
yes.
Then and then also, the more knowledge you have, the more prepared you are to actually pursue that project at a later date.
So how did you end up finding all these people to talk to?
Well, you get you Google and you say, well, what is a casting director? Who are casting directors? I mean, you just need to know. And then you're like, okay. And then you read about them and you see the bios that really speak to you. And then you ask them like, hey, would you come on the show? And could we talk a little bit about your career and what you've done? Because what I'm reading is amazing and I just want to know more about it. And I'm sure my fans would too.
We also found the people because at the end of shows, there's the credits where most people just roll out. Mm-hmm. I'm like with a notebook.
Well, who are these people?
Who are these people?
And what's
the caster? What's their first assistant? What's that name? And there you go.
And you just want to know. I mean, I know for me, it's very interesting. I mean, and some of these people have these stories that are amazing and how they got to where they are. And sometimes how they said, like, they felt like I'm an imposter here. Like, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. And then the people go, of course you are. So act like it.
So how do they feel? Because most people, as you said, don't really care about the behind the scenes people. They don't know their names. They don't, ask for autographs and pictures. So how do they feel knowing that someone actually cares about them and what they do?
They said it was interesting. They were like, we've never really gotten a bunch of emails like, hey, please come on this show. Let's talk to you. Like, we talk to people's interns and they'll, why would you want to talk to me? Because you're an intern. And and then it's good to know from the eyes of the intern what's going on all the way up to someone that we would call a note. to know what's going on, because everywhere in between is a story. And at the end of the day, we are storytellers.
Yep.
And we want to know all the stories. We can, maybe we won't tell the world. Maybe we'll just tell ourselves. But I mean, it's still a good story.
And it's also great to know the steps of how one starts a career, especially in Hollywood. Are you joking? Because they say it's one of the hardest towns to start a career in. So it's nice to know from the intern up to, as she said, the person of note, how they started their career, what they do, how they got there. Some went to college. Some have like PhDs and they're still an intern. Some, just happen to luck up on it. Yeah, it's weird.
And it's
one of the most interesting towns I've ever just interviewed people, because when I'm picking people, it's kind of almost at random.
Not really, because we read your bio, we read what's going on with you, but it's still one of those things we hope they are who they say they are. And they always are. They're always better than they say they are.
Oh my goodness, so true.
You're just you should have said that. This makes you so much better. I mean, obviously I thought you were good, but man, now you're so much better in my estimation. So that's cool.
And it was kind of fun because when you were saying about the behind the scenes, we actually have an award show called the Inspirational Women in Literature, Media, and Journalism Awards. And one of the reasons we started it was because we kept meeting so many women in media and journalism, of course.
In literature.
In literature. But I mean, we were going to meet women in literature. We had to go out of our way to meet the other two. But we kept meeting them, and they had done so many great things, but they were behind the camera.
And we knew they had awards lining their. And they're like, no, we have 2. Well, what? You should have had 7.
Yeah.
I just want to award you for living. Way to go. Good job on your life. Yeah.
So that was one of the things. And they're always like, how did you find, every year when we ask them, they're like, how did you find me? And I'm like,
because
wow.
we make it our goal.
We know, the two of us know how much work it goes behind the brand. Yeah. So I can only imagine how much work goes behind what you do.
Or even, Casey, what you do.
For real.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, I thank you too for doing that, because lots of times people do a lot of work and they feel, less appreciated. And I'm sure that helps them realize that they are appreciated. Even though the fans may not be running after them, they're still appreciated.
Because without them, how could they?
Right. There can be no show, no film, no nothing without them. They're very much needed. So any upcoming guests you're excited to meet with, or you're basically excited to meet with all of them?
No, we're excited to meet with everybody.
And everybody.
We look like little puppies, oh my goodness, we're gonna meet this person. Yay! They like you, I like you. Like puppies, you know how puppies are. So that's what we are.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few people coming out. But I think most of them are they were going to be on the Ladies Tale podcast right now.
A couple of people are on the Ladies Tale podcast.
But they're they're like celebrities in the UK.
Yeah, and that's really fun. So we had the Ball Builders on, which was great. They're hilarious. And Richard Whisker, he's hilarious. And Sue Sheridan and Craig. Okay.
Craig R.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna mess up his name. This is why we don't say names on our podcast. We let them say it first so we can know how to do it. Yeah, and so all those on the Ladies Tale podcast, and
which is literally a podcast for talent managers and their talent, because
and then the TV script that she wrote that we turned into a podcast instead.
Yeah. So you have professional actors read the TV script, and the TV script is about talent management and their talent, the relationship. If the two of them had competing reality TV shows. So we were like, what we need to do is have it so that people can listen to the show and then listen to real talent management and their talent. And there you go. So that's how that started. And of course we interviewed all the actors, because I mean, you gotta interview the actors that are reading the characters.
Absolutely.
So where can we find this podcast to listen to it?
Well, it's on Spreaker, but you can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethoughtLadies.com. Or if you just want the abbreviated version, you can go to andithoughtLadies.com.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today on The Show Must Go On. I want to thank our guests, Wilnona and Jade, for taking the time to join me, and of course to you out there watching, audience, viewers. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Have a great day.